In this video, we're going to take a look at how we go about adding mixed numbers. Everything that held for adding fractions, we still need to keep in mind when we're adding the mixed numbers. There's two methods I'm going to show you. Okay, the first method is to keep the mixed numbers as you're going through this process of adding them. This generally tends to be a little bit quicker and the numbers don't get as large, which can be helpful. The second method, which is to change to an improper fraction, is a good method as well. It usually takes a little bit longer, but it is the same process we'll use for subtracting and when we get to multiplication as well. So that's could be helpful just so that you have a more consistent, one method to use. But this method's a little bit easier in the sense of it goes a little bit more quickly. So we're going to keep the mixed numbers, but we're going to change the way they look. Okay, not in terms of the whole, but in terms of this fraction and this fraction. It's almost like you're going to add the 1 and the 3 to get 4, and then you're going to add the fractional part as well. So we need a common denominator, which in the case of 3 and 4 would be 12. So 2/3 would become 8/12. 3/4 would become 9/12. And keeping in mind that I need to add them, 1 plus 3 would be 4. 8 plus 9 would be 17 over 12. Okay, so now I've added these. Okay, just kind of added straight down. 1 plus 3 gets 4. And then using the whole idea of 8/12 plus 9/12 will equal 17/12. But now I need to look at my answer. I need to simplify a little bit. I'm still going to have the 4. But to that, I'm going to need to add the 17/12. Well, if I change 17/12 to a mixed number, I have 1 and 5/12. Because if I think about it, if I have pies that are divided up into 12 slices, sorry, this is really poorly drawn. Okay. See if I can draw this one a little bit better. What'll happen is I can fill up all 12 of these from the 17. And then I'm going to need an additional 5. And then I've got my 17/12 here. So if I look at it, I have 1 whole and then 5 out of the 12s being used here. I'm going to need to add this on to the 4. So my final answer will actually be 5 and 5/12. Okay. So this here, the 4 and 17/12, needs to become 5 and 5/12, which is my final answer. So this is the first method, okay, where I'm going to keep the mixed numbers, add the whole parts, add the fractional parts, and then look to simplify, okay, that properly mathematically wise. The second method deals with changing both mixed numbers to improper fractions. So, in the case of the first one, 1 and 2/3 would become 5/3. 3 and 3/4 would become 15/4. But I still don't have a common denominator. So 5/3 need to be over 12. So 3 times 4 is 12, so 5 times 4 is going to be 20. The 15/4 becomes out of 12 as well. So 4 times 3 is 12. 15 times 3 will be 45. And if I add these, 20 plus 45 is 65 over 12. Okay, which 12 goes into 65 5 times. 5 times 12 is going to be 60. So I'm going to have 5 left over. Okay, 5/12 remaining. Okay, and hence I get my answer. So this will, as you can tell here, you're going to be dealing with a little bit larger numbers. You have to keep in mind once you change it to an improper fraction, kind of using a whole technique of multiplying these 1 times 3 and get 3, and then you add the 2 to it. Once I get the improper fraction, I still need to go through and change this to change these to the common denominator as well before I can add them. And then once I get my final answer, I need to make sure I change it back to a mixed number. Hope this has been helpful for you, and good luck adding